Hey everyone, welcome to a new YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about why Redbubble allows copyright infringers on the platform. And let's go ahead and talk about the basic different ideas, the legalities of it, and actually all of the efficacies behind it in Redbubble's eyes. So as you guys probably know, Redbubble is a platform where you see a lot of people breaking what we call typical standard rules that would never pass on merch by Amazon, would never pass on other platforms. For example, here's a picture of SpongeBob. Maybe it was customized and it has a Naruto symbol on his forehead, right? If we look at this, there is a converted Nike symbol with the Naruto little graphic here that says Jutsuit, which is, I guess, is a Naruto, saying. I'm not a fan of Naruto. I never seen Naruto. But you see all these, like for here example, is the Goku logo. There are different things that you see people doing on Redbubble that could potentially break the rules, right? We can all agree on that. For example, this image here from Attack of the Titans, is another example, and you could do, and this could go on and on and on. I could search for example, Spider-Man, and we could see what comes up. And these are silhouettes, and this is even Spider-Man in its fullest example here, right? We have a picture of Spider-Man. We have the character from the movie. We have pictures right here, straight up, just from the movie, right? We have all these things that quote-unquote break traditional rules. Even these shirts here, right? They break traditional rules when it comes to copyright and trademark. However, Redbubble has a way around this, and this is why you actually see stuff like this that exists on their platform. And let's go ahead and talk about the legalities of it. So, Redbubble specifically puts out a lot of content on intellectual property. A lot of blogs, a lot of policies, a lot of things like that. I would recommend everybody to sit back and actually read this stuff. But we can see here that you are actually allowed to utilize somebody else's trademark. Now, that is under a concept that they call fair use. And fair use exists in many different industries. I remember in the marketing industry, there is something called fair use as well. There are different people who have different marketing strategies that you can utilize, that you can grow your business with. And under legal concepts, since it is not owned by you, there is fair use, and fair use actually has changed throughout the years. Back then, fair use was very different than what it is today. With the internet, it's obviously impossible to police everybody, and so these fair use laws, kind of run rampant now, and people take advantage of them. But it's very, very interesting what Redbubble says, so let's go ahead and dive deep into it, guys. Redbubble, this is a specific article that Redbubble has produced. It says, "Can I use someone else's trademark in my own artwork?" And what it's saying here is that it says, in some countries, there is something called a trademark fair use. But again, unfortunately, it can be really hard to figure out a company's name, logo, or artwork in your fair use. So what is fair use? For more info, click on the fair use, etc. And we can click on this fair use section here, and it says, generally speaking, fair use is exactly as it sounds. It designates that you are fairly using different elements created by others. So you are legally allowed to utilize, from Redbubble's standpoint, when I say legally, I'm not talking about by the government, I'm talking about in Redbubble's eyes, use elements that don't belong necessarily to you as long as you alter them, right? As long as the end product is altered. You're allowed to do this on YouTube. You're allowed to do this on other things. Now, that doesn't take away the legality aspect of it. For example, if I was to create a Naruto design, okay, and it's clearly Naruto, anybody who knows about the series can point it out and see that it's clearly a Naruto design. Naruto has the right to take me, that company, or whoever owns it, or whatever the case, take me to court and sue me. They have the legal right to do that, and they have the legal right to win. Okay? Why? Because I'm using things that don't belong to me. Now, in terms of essentially free press, free content here on YouTube, here on the internet, not even just YouTube, but here on the internet, on Redbubble, this is why you see things like this that run rampant. When we searched for Arcane before, you guys remember the series Arcane, people are using here things that they do not own. if Arcane wanted to come here and report all of these things to be taken down, they will be taken down. Why? Because Arcane owns the rights to this stuff. But under Redbubble's circumstances, Redbubble is not actually going to take this content down because they believe that it might fit in fair use. So this actually creates a loophole within Redbubble's system where by default, they're saying everything is fair use. The only time it triggers their algorithm is when a certain keyword is used and then it is in processing. You guys know those period of times when you upload a design and then they say, hey, it's temporarily taken off the market. We're currently reviewing your work. And then maybe you get an email about an hour later, maybe 2 days later, where it says, hey, your work passed the review process. You can sell it anyway. Well, that in that case also passes through fair use, and these triggers come from the keywords. So when people ask me, hey, can you use stuff that don't necessarily belong to you, like a logo or a trademark or an image from a movie or something like that, I say you technically can, because Redbubble can allow you to do so. It all depends on if someone is going to report you, which in this case, the only person that could potentially report you that matters is the owners of that company, whatever company it is, right? So Arcane, if Arcane came here, pulled all of this stuff down, they have the legal right to do so. Redbubble is not going to want to fight them on that. They're going to say, hey, no problem. They're going to just simply get an employee, take all of this stuff down, and ban the accounts that did it. However, is it fair? I don't know. You have to ask yourself. It depends on what circumstance you're into when it comes down to Redbubble. Are you busy using other people's works for your own designs? I always recommend against it. However, there are people that do it. And I'm not saying that you're a bad person for doing it, because you are exercising your right to fair use. Now, maybe not something directly like this where you're taking it straight up out of a scene of a movie, but another example is fan art. For example, if you're a huge fan of Arcane and this is a piece of fan art, right? Somebody created this art piece. Let's say you created this art piece. Under fair use, it technically is allowed, right? So what we really need to understand is that you can post what you want on Redbubble, but don't be surprised if it gets taken down by its rightful owner, okay? So it's not like you're going to get banned right away for posting things that you don't necessarily belong to you. But if Redbubble decides to take your account down, understand that that's not something that's a rarity. It's not something that's odd, and it's not something that's out of the picture. It is completely possible. So at the end of the day, when you're utilizing other people's resources that you don't have rights to, realize that you are taking a percentage of risk when you're doing this. I can't advise you and I can't tell you to do it or not to do it. I can only tell you what I'm doing. And me personally, I don't do it. I say there's no reason to risk it. I've already developed a model that helps me create multiple designs every single day. I know how to rank my designs. I know how to get sales on my designs without necessarily teetering on the edge of things that are the gray areas. And the reason, like I said, why it's a gray area is because Redbubble has put out content about the artwork that has been removed. If you have frequent artworks that have been removed, there's a good chance that your account will be taken down, okay? And realize that even if you haven't created artworks that not necessarily are removed, if your artwork gets taken, or if your account gets taken down, realize that Redbubble has the right to take your account down if they wish. And this is why I tell people, if you don't want to be at the mercy of Redbubble or any of these large corporations, you need to create your own business where you have full control over your own platform so that nobody can take you down in that sort of circumstance. Now, if that's something that you want to do, we're definitely going to create videos on that, and I think we have created a significant amount of videos on that before, but obviously the landscape changes, and we're going to be creating new content on that pretty soon, all right? I'll talk to you guys later. Hopefully this message is abundantly clear why Redbubble doesn't take down trademarked and copyrighted content that doesn't necessarily belong to people, but they're posting it anyway. This is the answer to that, all right? And so hopefully this video served you guys well and gave you some information. If you guys need any, have any questions or anything like that, leave them in the comments down below, and I'll talk to you guys later, all right? Peace out, bye.